Hello, welcome to Paper Daisy Journals. It's Kylie. This video today is a flip through of my latest nature themed junk journal. Her name is Edith because there is a lot of Edith Holden bits and pieces in this journal. I did have aspirations of doing 8 nature-themed junk journals, but I only ever seem to manage to do one every year. So this is my nature-themed journal for 2020. There will be no more. Okay, so Edith is A5 in size. There are over 80 pages. Front and back for you to journal on, and I have jam-packed Edith full of ephemera. I have tightly closed her so that she stays together, but I have stitched everything, so she is very unlikely to fall apart. Okay, so on the cover I actually have Edith Holden printed fabric, vintage fabric from an Etsy shop in the UK. There is a little rose charm off the silk, hand-torn silk tie, and I have actually left that quite long, so you can tie it in a bow and snip off the rest, or you can wrap it around as I had it. We have book corners here and a journal plate that can actually be taken out if you would prefer to put something else in there. Some beautiful Battenberg lace down the spine, and there are 3 signatures. This lace is from Blue Linen Cottage, an Etsy shop I will link in the description. It's not easy to find, especially in Australia, so that's where I got that from. And Edith's cover is sort of, it's a hard cover, but it's a soft cover, so it's sort of a flexible hard cover or a structured soft cover. Either way, it's literally 2 bits of cardboard stuck together for the cover, and I have 1 piece of cardboard for the spine, so that is a little bit more flexible, which allows for you to expand on Edith if you can actually fit anything else in her. I will wish you luck with that because there's not much space. You can probably fill 2 nature-themed journals with all of her ephemera. Okay, so at the front here, Edith Holden book page, just on a tag, a little bit of decoupage, some tea-stained cotton lace, and an original stamp. This is actually the nature-themed printable that I have in my Etsy shop, and I have printed that on textured paper, linen paper. And this is an original French document with a little bit of embroidery and some stitching around the outside, so that's a nice sized journal card. This is beautiful Swiss lace from my favourite shop, Vintage to Live By. I buy all of my lace from there. It's just absolutely beautiful. Pascal has so many beautiful things. Okay, this is also another book page, and this journal card is from another favourite Etsy store, Souvenir de la France. And I do love all of Jackie's creations. I have a couple of things from her shop in this journal. That is a little cluster there with a rose charm. And this is tea-stained sari silk down the side. And I have tea-stained pages in this journal as well. A little bit of collaging there. And some Tim Holtz vellum. This is a little pocket here, and some die cutting on craft paper, a fussy cut, a decorated paper clip, and that's just holding in another journal card. And this actually has a little secret tuck spot at the top there and some embroidery on there, so that's quite pretty. Oh, and it's lined on the back for journaling. And I have actually also distressed all of the paper clips with a bronze metallic paint. So there's another book page, and I've torn, hand torn, or with a ruler, and inked all of the edges of most of the pages just to add a little bit of character. So there's a fair amount of inking in this journal. A little snippet of lace on a piece of vintage ledger, page 40 and 41. Another book page. There's a little tuck spot there. So I have tried to leave some pockets and tuck spots for your own ephemera. And another paper clip and an original postcard, and it has a really beautiful saying on the back about spring, which I thought was really nice because it fits in with the nature theme. A little bit of die cutting there. Another book page. This is a really cute postcard. It's not a vintage one, it's a new postcard, but it is of the flower fairies, and I just thought those colours matched in beautifully with this journal. And there's another paper clip. This is a little cluster I've snipped off a snippet roll that I got from Etsy store Handcrafts by Kim. Kim is the queen of shabby chic in Australia, and her shop will be linked in the description. A little collage there with an original postage stamp. More of that Tim Holtz vellum. This is a really sweet little booklet. I have actually taken the pages out of the middle because Edith was getting too chunky, but this is from another of my favorite Etsy shops, Cupcakes and Bears, and Jennifer made, there is another one of these in the journal. She made them for me for my nature themed journals. I said plural, but there's only one. Till next year. Another Souvenir de la France by Jackie. I love that that's stamped on the back. Looks fantastic. And that's in a book page. Oh, these are really gorgeous collaged journal cards from Lynn, who's at Etsy store Pretty Paper Crafts 67. And Lynn really is the Aussie queen of Edith Holden. So I had to have some of her beautiful work in this journal. It was very hard to let go. I have a few of these cards. It was very hard to let go of them because I love them so much. But I do have a couple in this journal. Some tea-stained broderie en glace. And this again is my printable. This is a really cool piece of vintage ephemera from 1971. It is a time card, I think from Germany or Switzerland. And I just love that, you know, that was someone's week. They punched in and punched out, and you can just see how much work they did. And I think I like that sort of thing. And also you could use that, you know, if you're writing on a page, you could actually use the back of it as a board, a journal board, so that you can, it's, you know, less bumpy. And another book page. This is another one of Jackie's collaged postcards, some more die cutting. I used a wire rack when I was doing some tea staining. I thought that was a really cool result. And 1889 was this original receipt from France, which is pretty cool. A little bit of stamping. This is another Edith Holden book page turned into a tag. And a cluster, a charm, I should say, on some really nice soft lace. It's sort of a lace tulle, actually, so that's a little ruffle there. This is an original library card, and I've just put a little bit of Tim Holtz paper die cut on there. And that's another one of those distressed and decorated paper clips. So I have clipped quite a few things in, which are very easy to take out. This is another different piece of vintage ledger, another book page. This is a playing card and cute image on the back. But I thought that went very nicely with these mushrooms here. And that folds out. This is an original French seed packet label. And I've just put some beautiful hand crocheted lace. I think it's crocheted lace. And it looks like a little fence, a little picket fence in a garden of flowers. That was sort of what I thought of when I was making that. This is another one of Lynn's gorgeous cards, and Lynn actually used a little bit of my printable in the background, but I just love Lynn's fussy cutting and inking. She does a marvelous job. This is another piece of original ephemera I've turned into a pocket. It's probably the only blank page in the whole journal, you know, so you can't say that I didn't give you writing space. And again, another of Lynn's beautiful collaged tags. And I'm very, very reluctant to let this one go because daisies are obviously one of my favourite flowers, as are roses. I've just popped that in a pocket there that I've just put. That's actually a little piece of embossed craft paper, an original stamp and some washi tape. A little bit of collaging there. The other side of that receipt with the original stamp. And this is an envelope. I'm not very good at doing envelopes, but I had a go. And I made this out of a page of the Edith Holden book. And that is a print of a antique silk flower card and a wax seal on the back with some cotton lace. So I've made the envelope so that you see something on this side that's interesting, and also on the back as well, with a little bit of medical gauze, because my husband's a pharmacist and I have an endless supply of that. And it does the same job as cheesecloth. Another book page and a little tuck spot there with one of Jackie's little collaged cards. This is a gorgeous journal card from another of my favourite shops, Aussie Journal Shop, and Marie just does the most beautiful subtle collaging, and there's always something a little bit tactile. And this is actually machine stitched around and the whole card, so there's so much detail in one card. And I just stapled a little bit of sari silk to the top there, but they're nice big strong cards as well, with some really nice tea staining on the back. and I will link Marie's shop in the description. Some more tea-stained broderie on glace as the pocket, and my nature-themed printable. Some lace as a pocket there, some vintage lace, and another one of Lynn's beautiful journal cards. I think she actually has a couple of Edith Holden or nature-themed ephemera packs in her shop at the moment. So that's something to check out. But yes, I did get, I think, 10. So I still have plenty. I'm not giving away. I'm not putting all of them in the journal. No. This is actually a vintage envelope from Sweden, and I just really liked the typing there. Sort of went with the purple on this page, and I liked the colours matching there. So I'm sort of trying to do, I guess, create a journal, junk journal, more consciously of colour and how things go together. But this is a really cute little tag with a butterfly from the Edith Holden book. And I was hoping to be able to magically just get that straight back in there. Clearly not, but not too hard to put back in. A book page there with a little pocket. So there's a little pocket. And this is another one of Jennifer's little booklets. And again, I have taken out the middle pages, but it's still such a gorgeous way to keep a little bit of secret journaling. I just loved it, and I've put a little bit of hand-torn silk on the top there. But that pins really beautifully up there. So there's a little bit of fluff out the top and the side and the bottom of this journal. There's a little bit of everything going on here. This is a piece of vintage wallpaper that I've stuck on there, and it's sort of a bit like a garden here. That's a little bit of white modelling paste, and I just dabbed it through the stencil to give it a little bit of texture like a leaf. So there you go. And a pocket there with another of those pretty cards. And this is another antique French receipt, and it's actually typed, machine typed, which I thought was pretty cool. Some die cutting there. And this is another piece of antique ledger. I think that's page 4. Another envelope that I've made with a wax seal. That's a little butterfly there. And this is also an Edith Holden page with an image of a plant, Australian plant, sewn on there, and a little bit of stamping underneath. I do apologise if you are hearing cars driving past. I'm risking a film in the day because everyone's gone to the beach. It's a nice sunny afternoon, so the house is quiet, but we do live near farmland. So if a tractor or a truck goes past, you know why. We live in town, but we literally have horses 3 doors up, which is pretty exciting to be 50 meters from the beach and also have horses. So that's what happens on the east coast of Australia typically. Another book page, and this is a one of my grungy pressed flower tags, and I've just put some tea-stained cotton lace at the top and a mother of pearl button stitched on. A little mouse there, so cute. And this is a little cluster with a mother of pearl button and some really nice lace as a ruffle. A piece of the other side of that ledger page, and a little bit of collaging down the bottom, and a little bit in there as well, just to make it interesting and to sort of tie in with this piece of ledger. And that's from 1958, that French piece of ephemera. It is from the Justice Department, and they have such beautiful thick watermarked paper. I just love it. And this is actually ledger. I've used this a couple of times through this journal, and I have tea stained it because I think it was from the 1940s or 50s, and it was quite light in colour compared to the other ledger, so I just tea stained that, and it looks I think it looks really interesting. Another one of the Jackie's journaling cards, and that's another bit of snippet from Kim's snippet roll that I ordered. I ordered so many things from Kim. It was so fun. I'm not even close to running out, but I keep looking at her shop because she's got journal dangles in there at the moment, and I'm thinking I might need some. This is a Will's cigarette card, Deadly Nightshade. I thought that was a little bit cool. So I sewed that on to, this paper is, I think, 90 GSM. And it's technically wrapping paper, but I think you could actually easily write on it, probably with a ballpoint pen. I don't think a fountain pen would actually work, but if you have a white ballpoint pen, that would look quite cool to write in white pen on there. This is one of my tags that I've made with my nature themed printable, and that's a wax seal with a butterfly and some gauze, a tree hanging off a charm with some sari silk at the top here, and that's just pinned onto that page. And I am actually going to include another one of those in the journal, probably more towards the front, and I will attempt to tuck it into a pocket. We'll see what happens, or I'll attach it to the side because it's a bit bulky with that wax seal. But yes, so there'll be another one of those in here. And this is an Edith Holden playing card. It's one of the images from the Edith Holden book. That was very hard to get, that deck of cards, but I managed, and there's one in this journal, and that's just tucked into that book page there. This is the other side of the envelope, and that's another one of my grungy pressed flower tags with some of that tea stained cotton and a little bee charm hanging off the top there. And that just pops back in to there. Just have that hanging over the top. And this is another one of Marie's tags from the Aussie Journal Shop. And I just love, that's the little bit of cheesecloth at the bottom there. And they're a nice strong card too. Actually, I prefer, I'm not too fond of floppy bits of ephemera in a journal, especially if you want to journal on it. And this is a lace pocket here. It's been stitched on with a little bit hanging out the bottom, but you can actually tuck something in the front there if you wanted to. So it's sort of a double tuck, double pocket. And back page here, some of that tea stained crocheted lace and a little dragonfly on an iris, and that's a book page from Edith Holden, some decoupage and an original stamp. And I'm not sure which direction that stamp actually goes in because there was writing all the way around it and I wasn't sure which way was up, so I just sewed it in and hope for the best. I'm sure it's not a problem if it's upside down. Okay, and of course the back is that beautiful Edith Holden fabric. So yes, so there's plenty of journaling space. There's plenty of ephemera that you can move around as you please. There's some beautiful lace. I think that was from Blue Linen Cottage as well. I will remember this time to, oh look, there's a little bug. You don't get the bug with a journal. I promise that it won't be smushed inside, but a little bug just flew across then, so maybe that's a good sign. A good sign that it's definitely a nature-themed junk journal. So yes, so there's lots of ephemera if you like that sort of thing, lots of interesting little tuck spots and pockets. There's fabrics. There's little places for you to put your own ephemera. So hopefully I have found the right kind of balance between interesting things, vintage things, you know, touchy-feely things, and printables. So yes, this is Edith. She's fairly decent size. As I said, 3 signatures, A5 sized, and I will be putting her in my Etsy shop in a couple of days. I'll probably link, put some information in the description box about when Edith will be available, just so anyone that watches the video, if you're interested, you'll know when to keep an eye out in my shop. So I'm not going to try and tie that up, but I think, as I said, I've left that quite long, so you can wrap it around, or you can tie it and snip it if you like. And I'm not sure about including this sprig. It is an Australian native plant, but I think it has a little flower at the top, and I would hate to think you would get in trouble with your customs for importing plant matter. So maybe purely for decoration, but you know, Edith is beautiful enough without any little sprigs covering up her gorgeousness. Okay, so thank you for watching, and please take care. Bye.